Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Too Generic with your host Cam
Rich?
and this week we're going to talk about Game Two, of course, Game Two preview. We had Game One a few days ago. We got the WNBA topic of the Olympics and some standout performances, and then also UFC Fight Night was last night. So we could get in the UFC Fight Night, or we get in some W to start off. Which one you feeling?
Let's start off with the UFC.
The UFC. All right. Well, it was a pretty cool night.
It was.
It was a little random, It wasn't like the biggest names, but I thought there were some really good fights. I thought everybody went in there and really fought. Like there were no cans, there were no easy fights in my eyes.
Yeah, I thought the main card was really good because I thought the prelims were kind of boring, and I think they were saying it was 19 straight fights where he hadn't seen a knockout.
Yeah,
and they had got
like all the fights went the distance. I mean, granted, no one got smashed. That's what I was basically saying.
Yeah,
like, there were no like blowout fights. In a
right.
sense, it was just good fights.
And the judging was pretty horrible. And in that first fight, they gave one fighter a 30-27, the other fighter a 30-27, and then the other fighter a 29-28. And I thought the other fighter had won. I thought De La Rosa beat who was it? Tomar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought DeSantos had won that fight. And then there was another fight where the judging was wacky too. But yeah, I thought the main card I thought was great. It was good to see Dominic Reyes back in the win column.
Yeah.
The knockout there. First time we've seen him win since, what was it, 2020? He was on a 4-fight losing streak, had 3 really bad losses in his last 3. So that was cool to see. We were talking about the Cannonier stoppage though.
Mm-hmm. The Cannonier stoppage, man. He really he took on a barrage of hits though for like 15, 20 seconds. Like the time that I went back and watched the replay on it, I'm like, he really was getting hit up. Like he went from the middle of the cage to back to the cage to back to the middle of the cage to running back into the cage again. Like
right.
The more I watch it, it did look like a decent stoppage. But you do want some more closure because Cannonier has looked down and out before. Like this isn't the first time he's gotten punched in the face. So we've seen him come back. We've seen him really fight hard. I was just interested in really seeing somewhat closer to a finish. I guess, like we were saying, there weren't really any finishes throughout the night. Then you get Reyes, who comes up with a mean left hand and catches Jacoby just completely off guard.
Right.
But then with the Cannonier one, feels like he got caught, but still feels like he was standing and could have lasted. He's a former heavyweight. He's a tough dude. He's a big guy. He's not just some frail little guy fighting up weight or whatever else. Like he's a tough dude.
And I thought he threw a right. He threw a right on Imavov, and then 2 seconds later, Herzog called the fight. So, I mean, he was still striking. He was still throwing back. I mean, it didn't look good, to be fair.
But it landed, though. When he planted and landed that right hand, he got hit with the left in the meantime. But, I mean, for a millisecond, I thought Cannonier was going to sleep him when he landed the hand.
Right.
Didn't you for a half a second?
Yeah, because it was still a good strike.
Because Imav's neck and the way he kind of got hit and his shoulders went back, he didn't think he was getting punched right there.
Right, because he thought
it was about to be, I'm taking this guy out, which is also what Herzog thought. Herzog thought, oh, Cannonier's finished. He takes that one-step plant, boom, lands the hand, and then they still kind of wave it off. I get why he's upset because he landed a punch within a second, and it was a clean hit.
It was.
Yeah.
So. But, I mean, Herzog's job is to protect the fighter, but I still thought it was early. I mean, it wasn't looking good for Cannonier, but I still thought, obviously, most fighters want to go out on their shield, and he wasn't down yet either. I mean, he was definitely wobbly. He could have gone down any second, but I would have liked to see the fight go on a little bit longer.
He could have brought him to the ground. He could have, regained his wits.
Right.
You never really know what could happen, and that's kind of why I'm disappointed in it because, it's Cannonier. The guy's a savage. Like, especially because Imavov looked tired after round 1.
But then after that, Imavov kind of got a second win. I thought.
Yeah, he got a second win and looked good, but let Cannonier catch a second win because he was still going off his first.
Right. I thought Cannonier lost lost the second and third round. I thought he was obviously losing the fourth round because in the first round he came out really aggressive. I thought
Yeah,
he was moving Amavov around. He was working the jab. He had the calf kicks, and then after that, he kind of just Amavov started
he
to get
stopped his offense.
yeah. Because I like to see the aggressive Cannonier. I didn't think he was really aggressive in the Adesanya fight. I thought he didn't really know what to do with Israel Adesanya in that fight, I thought. And then I thought it was just more point fighting in his next fight against Sean Strickland. I thought he was more aggressive in his last fight against Vettori. And then I liked what I saw from him in the first round, but then after that, he really struggled.
Yeah. Poor Imavov. Now he's actually going to have to go fight someone else. And I don't know if he's ready for it. That's what I think. I don't know if he's ready for the next opponent, no matter who it is.
Yeah, he'll be fighting somebody inside the top 5 now. Cannonier was number 4, so
yeah, Cannonier's 4. Like you only got a few guys left, and you're going to be fighting the best of the best.
Yeah, so he's right in the title talks now.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think you got to see what's going to happen with Adesanya. I don't know if is he going to get the title shot right away, or is he going to have to fight Strickland again?
Right.
So we'll have to wait and see. But also, we got the Robert Whittaker and Khamzat Chimaev fight coming up, and that could be a number 1 contender spot as well to fight JC. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions in the middleweight division now. I don't know what you're going to go with. I think Strickland is certainly deserving of it again because I thought that first fight was really close with Duplessis. I thought Strickland won the fight, and then kind of made it. Even though it wasn't really the most fun fight, he dominated Paulo Costa. I mean, it was all him.
Yeah.
In that fight. So I think Strickland definitely could get it. Obviously, Adesanya was champ for a while, and he's taken some time off after the Strickland loss, so I could see him getting it too. And obviously, him and Duplessis have the beef, so that fight makes sense. But also, Robert Whittaker is right in the picture. I think Whittaker's kind of taking a chance though to fight Khamzat Chimaev because this is the first. This is obviously one of his bigger fights, and Chimaev. You can make the argument that Usman could have won that fight against Chimaev. Now he's going up against a real middleweight, Robert Whittaker, one of the best middleweights in the world. So yeah, it's really interesting in the middleweight division.
Chimaev's scary at 185 because that's supposed to be his real weight.
I know, but I mean, Usman just moved up to that middleweight, and Chimaev didn't look that great. Aside, he was from the first round, seemed like he could have choked out Usman. After that, I thought it was really close, that fight.
Yeah, he gasses out.
Yeah, if he doesn't get that finish in the first round, might be some problems.
But I feel like if there was no timer, Chimaev would also be the best.
Yeah.
Because like that 5-minute bell saves a lot of people against Chimaev.
That's a good point.
Like if you never get that breather to just like, okay, let me talk to my coach. What else do we got to do to try to stop him? Now that I'm in there, what's my strategy? What do I change? But yeah, and then you give Chimaev like a time to calm down and everything, and then now you know what to expect from him. But when he has that, you put him in the cage and close the door and just say go fight. Nobody knows how to fight Chimaev.
And then I think that the last fight was only the second time we've seen him go the distance. He's never been in has he ever? I don't think he's ever fought a 5-round fight, has he?
No, he hasn't fought a 5-round fight. He went to distance with Burns and then went to distance with Usman.
But I mean, has he been in a 5-round fight?
No, I don't believe so.
5 rounds? Yeah, I didn't think so either. But that in the Burns fight was great though.
Yeah, it was.
That was a classic.
That was a classic. That was one of my favorites, man. You had him dropping down to 170. Burns almost drops him a couple times. He drops Burns a couple times. Like that was just such a brawl.
That was great.
Yeah, it was. That was a good fight. But yeah, 185 is stacked, and I just don't know if Imavov is really all that he's supposed to be cracked up to be. I think he's going to end up just getting lined up with a savage. Like they're gonna throw him Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya. I don't think Pereira's ever gonna come back down to 185.
I don't think he should. After that knockout Izzy had on him, that was he better stay at 205, go to heavyweight or something.
Yeah, I don't know if he's dropping down to 185 ever again. So I think you got Chimaev there. You still got Izzy, of course.
But Imavov already lost to Strickland too.
I know.
So that's another thing. And I think Strickland can do the same thing he did last time, just point fight him.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have guys who are not scared of Imavov and can handle Imavov.
Yeah, Strickland's got one of the best gas tanks in the UFC. I think Adesanya has a great gas tank too.
Yeah.
But to me, I still think Adesanya is way better than any of these other guys. I think it was just an night for him against Strickland. I think he destroys Strickland if they ever do a rematch. I think he's much better than Duplessis. I think Duplessis isn't a smart fighter either. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I think he just has such a high IQ, a higher IQ than anybody else in the UFC. And he's fine kind of with point fighting and chipping away at guys mm-hmm. and playing defensively. I still think he's better whoever he goes up against. And all
I want to see Izzy get a little more offensive again. Kind of like he and McGregor kind of fell into the same problems. They had so much more. The talent gap was so much more than the next person. When they went out there, they just looked 10 times better than everybody else. And then they kind of like lower their level of competition to to who they're fighting. And I hate that.
Right.
Like, I feel like Izzy should go out there and show his toolbox. Same with McGregor. Like, the last time McGregor went out there, he came out with a boxing stance and did some weird stuff against Poirier. Like, that's not what we want.
Yeah, the second fight with Poirier, he was really in that boxing stance. I thought he was a little bit more on it, bouncy on his feet in the third fight, but he was also coming in there with an injury.
Right. Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know. And then with Izzy, the last couple fights, he's been a little more stationary, a little less offensive, really waiting for the move. Like, I understand the way he fought Yoel Romero, and that wasn't the most, highlight-filled fight.
Yep.
But that's everybody against Yoel Romero. It's when he's fighting everyone else, and then, like I said, the last few, I thought he was a little, sluggish or, I don't know, reserved maybe is a good word for it. Just not really trying to fire.
But I really feel like since maybe the Vettori fight, he's been more defensive because he fought Vettori, he fought Whitaker for the second time, he fought Cannonier, then he went on the Pereira thing. And even in the second Pereira fight, he had to be defensive there because he had to get him backed up against the cage, so he had to throw something, and unfortunately had a couple shots off. But yeah, he's been really defensive. Like I want to see Adesanya from when he was fighting Brad Tavares, when he was just styling on Tavares for all 5 rounds, just cooking him.
Right.
And with the calf kicks, he was hitting him with elbows, punches. Like that's the Izzy you kind of want to see. Or even like he was even the Anderson Silva fight. And I get Anderson Silva was old and everything, and it wasn't prime Anderson Silva, but Adesanya was striking and throwing with him. That was prime Adesanya there.
Right. It makes me just want to see MVP, Michael Venom Page, just beat everyone, so then he has to fight Izzy. So then we have to actually have another fun fight.
Also, he'd move up to middleweight then.
I don't know. Ian Gary puts someone against Izzy that's going to go out there and fight with him with his style.
Right.
That's what I want to see. I want Izzy to be like in his element, not just like playing defensive against a wrestler or something like that.
But maybe back then he had less to lose too. I mean, he doesn't want to lose that championship, so I get it.
And I don't think he's got that same spark, that same drive and chip on his shoulder as he once had. When you're trying to prove yourself, it's different. But once you've made $40 million and you're chilling, you know what I'm saying?
But he was also still
different. You don't work out as hard.
He was also still defending the belt though, and he was still clearly winning those fights. I mean, I thought the Whitaker fight was close. The second
he was
Whitaker
lapping
fight,
the division.
Yeah, I mean the second Whitaker fight was really close. Mm-hmm. A lot of people had Whitaker winning, but I thought the Vettori fight, he did a great job with the wrestling defense, the takedown defense. Mm-hmm. I thought he clearly won that fight. The Cannonier fight was incredibly boring, but I probably thought he won 4-1 in that. So, I mean, I thought for the most part, he was really making it look easy in that division. And I think he's going to come back and be champion again. I still don't think there's anybody as good as him in that division right now.
Okay.
I think Strickland, he had great coaching and he had a good night. He got that strike off on Izzy in the first round of that fight and knocked him down. But I don't think Strickland has really good power. I think Adesanya was more surprised that he got hit like that.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think if they do that fight again, I think Izzy finishes him or beats him 5-0. I really think that. I don't think Duplessis has a chance either. Because Duplessis is just a big, strong guy. He doesn't really, and you saw the fight with Strickland. That fight was horrible.
Right.
They were both throwing like some clowns, especially at the end of that 5th round too.
Oh my God, Duplessis couldn't even lift his arms. I felt like at some point he just looked so tired. He was trying hard, you know. He was doing his
But
best.
I still think Adesanya is just so much better. It's crazy.
Yeah, Izzy's way better, and we'll see that. I think, like you said, he might come back and have another title run. It's possible. I think Chimaev could be just somebody who comes in and spoils that.
Right.
You know, Chimaev's going to come in. I think he could beat Sean Strickland, and I think he could beat Izzy.
Yeah, I just hope he's more active, because he really hasn't been that active as of late.
Right. Supposedly he's been having visa issues and all this stuff. And
right. This will be his first fight of 2024, I think.
Yeah, it would be his first fight.
And he only had, did he have one? He had one fight in 2023. I think he only had one fight in 2023 too.
In 2023, and then 24. I mean, 22. He probably had.
He had Holland with the wild fight card when they had the thing up. So they had Holland. I think he had Burns in that one too. I don't know.
Yeah, Burns might have been 22 as well.
But I hope he's more active.
Yeah. But my boy Mikey hit a $3,700 parlay yesterday on a free bonus bet.
Nuts.
So this was the parlay: Brad Katana, De La Rosa, Reyes, Raul Rosas, Carlos Paredes, Klein, Zach Reese, Bruno Ferreira, and Imavov.
Wow. Wait, I thought De La Rosa lost. Oh, that was Dos Santos. My fault.
Yeah, Dos Santos lost. But yeah, he just put together, it was a plus 18,511 odds. Fucking Mikey, man, off a free bonus bet.
I can't hit a 2-leg parlay. He just hit a 9-leg parlay.
9-leg parlay in the UFC on a random fight night card.
Right. That's something else.
I'm almost positive 7 out of these 9 people he's never seen fight. I would be willing to put a parlay down on that. Right. And he has no clue who these guys are. The only guy he knew was Raul Rosas and Dominic Reyes. Those are the only guys, I swear to God, that he knows.
That's crazy.
But Mikey, man, he's a shark. He really is. Like, he's always on the damn betting apps, killing it.
Man.
Can't believe he posted it immediately after.
That's something else.
I wrote him, I said, savage.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Really is awesome. But, hell yeah, good for him. You know, people making bank out here. We got the GameStop stock going back up. We lit.
I didn't even know.
Oh, you didn't know about GameStop? We back.
Okay.
Roaring Kitty.
Roaring
Kitty is the guy who started the first one, the meme stock, when everyone was like AMC and GameStop. So basically, during COVID, GameStop was like this because all in-store businesses, retail, brick and mortars were shutting down. And people are like, yo, this is the future. This is COVID. We're going to be living out of our houses and with masks forever. And people were just stuck with that. So people were putting shorts or puts on the stock market, which is basically, let's say the stock is $10, just to make this easy. And let's say I want to do a put, which is a bet basically that it'll go down. A call is a bet that it goes up. Put is a bet that it goes down. So you buy it for the date. So let's say it's June 1st, $10. Pretty easy numbers. June 1st, $10. I'm betting that July 1st, it'll be $5. So I'm putting puts for $5. And if the stock is $5 on July 1st, when I said it will be $5, then I get to buy the shares for like $2 each, something like that. Like, you're forced to buy it and you have to have the money allocated for it. But basically, if you hit, you get the shares at a reduced price because you're basically doing some form of equity lending where, like, if I owe you $10 and you owe me $10, I basically give you $10 and then you give me $10 back, and now we're even.
Okay.
right?
Dude,
It's like some weird, funky math that everyone's just kind of passing around this dollar, and they're all exchanging it on the back end in dark pools of like billionaires. When you put a stock, when you buy a stock on Robinhood, you don't own the stock. Robinhood does. They just give you a certificate saying you own it. So like when you buy a stock for $5.03, the stock price was actually $3, but Robinhood charged you $5.03 per share because they want their little cut since they're the middleman and owning it and everything. So
right.
like that's how the business operates. So people have a very like limited view of, of the stock market, but like so basically all these people with big money, billionaire hedge funds, were betting on GameStop to basically go to zero. Like 50 cent puts, all sorts of stuff. And so this guy realized that there are more shares being like, let's say there's a million shares.
Mm-hmm.
There are more shares being bet that it'll go down than there are shares that even exist. So there were $1.5 million or million shares bet that it's going to go down. But he's like, there's not even enough shares to cover this bet. What are we talking about? You know? And he actually did all the technical analysis and proved it and posted it on Reddit. And everyone was like, wait, if we all just kind of like throw in, $50 or whatever, if we all do our little part, this thing can't go down because there's no shares to cover, so it'll be a short squeeze. It'll be too short, and then now the people that made those bets to go down, they have to buy the stock at whatever price it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're hostage. As long as we know the date that they have to cash it in at, they're a hostage as long as we have the shares that they need.
Right.
And that's what happened.
So you're betting on
There were billionaire hedge funds that were betting millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, that GameStop would go down, and then they would rake in a big percentage of owning GameStop at a lower rate, and in the meantime, screw everybody who owned GameStop. And if you think about it, like people who work at GameStop get shares, kind of like how if you work at Amazon, you could get shares, or your dad worked at Lowe's and he got shares of Lowe's for the whole time he was working there.
Right.
So if you think about it, the average man, the common man, is working at GameStop, and his incentive, maybe his pay isn't the best, but hey, you get shares and you are an owner of this company, and over time it will build up and you will have wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So these billionaires are betting that these GameStop guys, their stock is there, and they're like, no, bet that thing down. So somebody who's been working there for 10 plus years, who's been accrued, maybe, let's say the value, if it was $10, let's say they have $100,000 in GameStop shares, but they're betting 50-cent puts. So $100,000 in GameStop shares are now worth $5,000. That's $95,000 stolen from a common man. And that's a wide scale. There's not one person who works at GameStop. That is how many workers are on close to minimum wage working for GameStop under the guise that they get stocks also. So they feel like they're getting actually a better value than what they're actually getting paid, which makes sense, which they are. But these billion-dollar hedge funds were basically betting on the company to fail, which in turn bets on the average man to fail, and their 401ks and everything else. This is what the 2008 stock market was about. Basically, they upped the interest rates. Nobody could buy homes. It was a big mess. Everyone got foreclosed on because no one could afford the interest rates. People were just dumb, buying into these loans they couldn't afford. But the banks were even smarter, and they knew you were dumb, and they knew they could sell you a house that you couldn't afford, so they would get it back. And they also got paid for it by you for the 3 years you could afford it until you literally tapped out of every resource left, and then you had to get foreclosed on because you couldn't afford the rent. And banks knew this, took advantage of a lot of people, and this is a way of fucking over the man, the billionaire hedge funds, the hedgies is what we're calling them now. This is the way to fuck over the hedgies, because the hedgies have been fucking over us for a very long time. And we finally did the math. We as a people, I'm claiming Roaring Kitty as we, And this guy, also known as Deep Fucking Value, that was his real name on Reddit for a very long time. And then he started making YouTube content called Kitty Corner, and he named himself Roaring Kitty. And the rest is history. He came out with a movie about the AMC stocks and everything else. Have you seen the movie or heard of it?
Nope.
Oh, well, a movie came out, went to the theaters and everything about this whole thing.
Yep.
And yeah, it was just basically like they were betting on specific shares to fail. AMC as well was one that was getting bet down to oblivion so far that there wasn't enough shares to cover what they were even doing, which is basically, they call it selling naked shorts, but it never really gets called out in the market because nobody fights it. They just work together. They say, oh, the billionaires, one billionaire hedge fund goes, oh, these guys are betting the naked shorts. All right, we just double down on the naked short, and then it's guaranteed to go down. We all win.
Right.
But they all win because it's a zero-sum game. Someone has to lose in the stock market. So it's the common man who's holding the stocks. It's your grandma who worked, not your grandma, but like somebody's grandma who worked as a librarian for 40 years and their 401k is in stocks and that's their retirement. And these dudes are just bet it down. That's what they're doing. And they're screwing over the common man. And this guy said, look at AMC. The movie theaters are all shut down. It's during COVID. These billionaires are betting against this. And these people, if this company goes under, these people will never get their job back. There's people working at a movie theater, high schoolers, common people. You know what I'm saying? It's not millionaires who work at AMC.
Right.
It's everything. It helps the economy. High school kids who want to get their first car, save for college, whatever. What they're doing was directly trying to crash their economy. So this guy peeped it. He said, look, they're selling naked shorts. If we all just pool our money together, they can't beat us. And he proved it the last time. And the same thing happened again recently, where there were too many naked shorts on the GameStop betting it to go down. And he's seen the same thing happen again. But now we trust him. He proved it the last time. Why wouldn't you trust him this time?
Mm-hmm.
And so it happened again. And now the price is going up. He did a live stream. And during the live stream, he came out with all these Band-Aids on. And he's all hurt and like pretending to be hurt by the price of the stock because it was going down overnight. Right. And basically, he proved that he wasn't manipulating the stock because someone, Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, and I know I'm going off right now. I wasn't even trying to go off. But this bald guy, Gary Gensler, runs the SEC. And he basically is in charge of all finances and financial crimes and everything else that you would investigate on the stock market, insider trading, blah, 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 blah. He's sitting there going on CNN and all these news outlets talking about this guy is a criminal. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking about this guy is manipulating the stock market. He's doing this. He's doing that. All he's doing is betting against what these people bet. It is a reaction to that. So I wouldn't blame the effect on the cause. You know what I'm saying? Don't blame the effect on the effect. Yeah. Blame the cause, not the effect.
Yeah, he didn't cause it.
He didn't cause it. He didn't put all these naked shorts out there that are technically illegal but never get caught or flagged. So like he did this and they're trying to make him a villain. And so he goes on live. And this is like 2 weeks after he showed how much shares he has in GameStop, posted his technical analysis and everything. And then so he goes live and then posts his account. He didn't sell a damn share. So you can't say he's manipulating the market. He's not buying and selling and fucking around. And, when it goes up $1, he sells it and he waits for it to go down $1 and he buys back and he makes a little more. He wasn't doing any of that. He has the same exact amount as he did 2 weeks ago. So all of this is random price manipulation. What's crashing it? What's raising it? So he basically exonerated himself by going live and saying like, look, I didn't sell a damn thing. And also while he was live, they shut down GameStop stock like 17 times. It's called halted. They halted the stock. The New York Stock Exchange stopped trading on it while he went live. And he basically was proving that they were following because they weren't halting it prior to him going live. Then he goes live and now they start halting it and won't let anyone buy anymore. You could only sell. So imagine if, I don't know, I gave you $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I put you in prison and said, you have to give me 80 to get out. You'd be like scared, right? Like, fucking take the 80, like, let me out. That's basically what halting a stock is, because you can't buy anymore. You could only sell. So the only option is to sell. Not saying you have to sell. No one's putting a gun to your head and forcing you to press the sell button. But in a sense, if you can't buy more, nobody's going to buy more because nobody can buy more, which inherently makes the stock drop. Because once there is a no buy button, that means there is 0.000 potential. Zero. Absolute zero.
Nobody
right?
can.
Yeah, it's absolute zero. So when you halt a stock, there's only one way it could go. 100%. It's down. There's no way it goes up ever. It's impossible because you're eliminating the possibility of a new customer. Like, everything about it is kind of slimy. So they halt the stock multiple times, and he's just sitting there laughing, and he's like, bro, I'm not selling. I'm not doing nothing. They're trying to prepare for whatever the hell he was going to do on live stream. CNN is like sharing the screen and live streaming his stream and everything else. It was pretty comical. But yeah, that was basically, I forgot how we even got to that.
I don't know. It was a good 11-minute rant though.
It really was. It was a good 11-minute rant. But yeah, it's all about taking care of the man, you know. We got to get rid of not taking care of him, getting rid of the man. We got to take care of ourselves. Fuck the billionaires.
Yeah, I really don't remember how we got here now.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was something about something.
We were talking about the UFC in the main event. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. How do we get here, man? Why do we do this to ourselves? But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're riding GameStop to the moon. Fuck the hedgies.
Okay.
We out here.
You say so.
On to the WNBA.
Now we're going to WNBA.
So they talk about fuck the hedgies. Caitlin Clark isn't in the Olympics. So all the people who are with probably like TV and media feel some type of way. Even if they say it or not, I know they feel some type of way, because that takes away a lot of talking points. It takes away a lot of viewership. People are gonna care. You know, there's old people who probably wanted to follow Caitlin Clark because they love college basketball more than anything. You know, so it does mess with ratings in a sense. But when you look at the roster, it's a bunch of legends, man. You can't really argue with it.
I think the biggest argument was Taurasi making it. I thought 4 years ago, I think people thought she shouldn't have made it either. There were players that were more deserving than her. But I mean, I guess she's been in the WNBA for so long. She's such a staple in the WNBA. It makes sense to keep her on there. And I honestly don't know if Caitlin Clark is ready to play for Team USA. I mean, I don't
ready to play team ball.
That's what I mean. I don't know if she's still improving. Still, obviously one of the top rookies. She put up some really good numbers, but I just don't think she's ready. I don't think she's on that level of all the players that were listed. And I also think you could make an argument that there's other guards that could be over her right now.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as being established in the league, having success in the league. I mean, if you look at somebody like Alicia Gray, I think you could put Alicia Gray over Caitlin Clark. I think she's more established. She's had more success than her. She's obviously played in the WNBA longer than her. She's a more efficient scorer. She's a defender.
Off ball too.
Yeah, I see.
She's an off ball player. Like, I love Alicia Gray. She could create when she gets the rock and stuff, but yeah, like, she fits in an Olympic offense.
That's when
everyone is a star. You put Alicia Gray there, she's the perfect star role player.
Because with the Team USA, you don't need Caitlin Clark pulling up and taking 30-footers. No. You have all this talent. You don't really need her to go crazy like that.
If you got Asia Wilson, you don't need anyone else. Let's just say that.
Exactly. You don't need her to be putting up those kind of shots. People were saying Arike Ngumbawale to make it over Clark or to make it over Taurasi. I think Ngumbawale is incredibly inefficient. So I'm not really mad she's not on the roster. I really can't stand her game. She shoots her team out of games.
I think Taurasi will be decent in European play because they're slower and they're more physical. And so hopefully she locks in for defense, because I feel like, they're just all the European leagues are more physical than the American leagues. So hopefully Taurasi, she does get rough and she doesn't play defense anymore.
But she'll
So
foul the hell out of you.
Right, she'll foul the hell out of you. So hopefully she just fouls from the first possession that she's in there and just fouls the entire time, and they can't blow the whistle every play.
But also, I don't think she's going to play that much.
Right.
I mean, I think she's going to be what is this, a 12-man roster? 12, 11. She'll be 11th or 12th man on the roster. I don't think she's going to play a whole lot.
Hold on. Hawk's calling me. I got to decline this call. I didn't even know I had Discord up. All right, my bad.
But it's going to be, she's not going to be a start. It's going to be Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum starting as your guards probably, right? I would think.
If Chelsea Gray's healthy.
Yeah, if Chelsea Gray's healthy, I think you put Kalia Copper out there with Stewie and Aja Wilson. To me, that'd be your starting five right there.
Let me look at this roster real quick. You got a link to it?
No, I just have it pulled up right now. I just typed it on Google.
All right, Women's Olympic roster.
Yeah, but I think Taurasi would play the least out of anybody, to me, if Chelsea Gray is healthy.
I mean, they did bring Atkins on this team.
No, that's not the roster I'm looking at.
Oh, I must be on a different roster.
Yeah, it was just an article they put out yesterday.
There we go.
Yeah, because if Atkins made it, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I was looking at, but I guess it was like a preseason tryout team or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we got Jackie Young, right?
Yep.
I would put Jackie Young over.
You could put Jackie Young in the starting lineup too.
I would put her over Plum, especially lately. Plum's been trash ever since she got divorced. She going through shit.
Yeah.
It's like Brady. Everyone was on Brady's back when he got divorced and saying, "Look, it looks like he's not himself out there. He just doesn't look as just driven. He's going through shit in real life."
Yeah, you could start.
Plum's body language looks terrible. Her shooting looks terrible. She's not putting up points, especially with Chelsea Gray out. With Chelsea Gray out, your production should be up, and her production's down.
But I think Gray does such a good job of orchestrating that offense and setting all her teammates up.
Yeah, but that's what it is Plum is not as good without Gray. She's better statistically with a better player. So, I don't know. I wouldn't start Plum over Jackie. Jackie Young is elite. Elite.
So you have Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray. I would definitely start Copper.
Yeah, so this is what my starting lineup would be. Did I just click out of it again? No, I got it. All right, so my starting lineup would probably be, it's Jackie Young.
Yep. We got to put Chelsea Gray in there, no?
That's what I'm trying to work this out right now. So I'm doing Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Kalea Copper, Stewie.
Got to be Asia.
No, I don't know if I'm doing Stewie, actually. I might do Stewie. Stewie's just such a great player.
I got to start Stewie.
Yeah, Stewie and Asia.
Yeah, to me, that's the starting.
And then the bench could be – I actually like this. The bench lineup could be Lloyd, Plum, because Lloyd's heavy on ball. Plum is not heavy on ball and good off ball. Then you got –
you got to start Collier. You got to put Collier there.
I know Fee is going to be in there. I think I'm going to put her at the wow. Okay. And then we got Griner. Okay, yeah. Here we go. So it would be the bench unit would actually be Sabrina, Lloyd, Fee, Alyssa Thomas, and Brittany Griner. That would be my second unit.
That's a big lineup, too.
I wouldn't put Plum because you got Ionescu at the 1, Joelle Lloyd at the 2. Then you got Fee at the 3. Fee's a big 3, but Alyssa Thomas does a lot of things, she's not worrying about shooting or anything like that. So you could kind of swap them at the 3 or the 4 for Alyssa Thomas. And then you got Griner at the 5, really holding it down. I know Fee doesn't play the best defense all the time, But as long as you got Alyssa Thomas and Griner there backing her up, and then at the same time, I mean, the guards aren't really the best defenders, but I think right there, you got Alyssa Thomas and you got Griner out there. That's a problem.
Yeah, I was saying you could almost put Thomas at the 3 because of her ball handling skills.
Right. You could put Thomas at the 3, Fee at the 4, which might actually work out better.
And Thomas is obviously a really good passer too, so
yeah,
she could almost be her point guard at times.
Yeah.
She
And I
could
like it too because Sabrina's not like a full-time point guard. You got Vandersloot, who's always there, and then Stewie's also like a secondary, tertiary ball handler. And then you got Lloyd, who's learning to share the responsibilities now with Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Right.
But I don't know. I still think you need a scorer out there. You need spacing. You got Sabrina. You got Lloyd. Because you need spacing with Alyssa Thomas and Griner out there. And you can't space better than Sabrina and Lloyd.
And that's enough scoring for that starting 5.
That's literally 2 starting 5s.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, the first starting lineup, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Copper, Stewie, and Asia. Yeah. We're winning gold.
And I don't
care. Who are you going to bring out there? Satu? But who's she with?
But we don't even know if she's going to play.
I think she's going to play. She'll be back.
She'll be ready by the Olympics?
Yeah, she'll be ready by the Olympics.
Yeah, I don't think any other country has a lot.
I mean, no. Like, it would have to be the USA versus the world for me to actually be scared.
Right. Got to face Marine Johannes, though, probably.
All right, you got to face Marine Johannes, Satu, Vandersloot.
There's not much there.
Sika Kone.
Oh, no, not her.
Astu, what's her name? Astu Fall.
Might be over for Team USA now.
Might be over. You know, you don't want to see Julie Van Loo.
Julie Van Loo is nasty. I don't care.
She's fucking nasty. I mean, she's 31-year-old rookie, right? So
yeah, she's gonna carry that Belgium team.
She's gonna carry the Belgium team. You got Dorcas Juhas carrying her team out there in Sweden. I think. I think she's Swedish.
She's Hungarian.
Hungarian. My God, it's the long, straight blonde hair. I know she's not actually a natural blonde, so maybe that's what fools me. She just looks like a big Swede with blonde hair.
She was playing for Italy overseas, so I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, she plays for Italy. She was in the finals. Actually, she plays for I think she was playing for Spain, who had the final in Italy.
I thought she was playing for Italy, and that's why she missed the first 3 or 4
Maybe games. She was playing in an Italian league. I know she plays in Spain too, or used to play in Spain. So maybe I'm just mixing the two up. But yeah, she plays all over, so it's hard to really track who she is unless you read a Wikipedia page bio, because you couldn't guess it.
Yeah.
It's like not like it, but Manu Ginobili with the Euro step, but he's South American. He's from Argentina.
Yep.
That's at the bottom of South America. It's below Brazil, but we still say he invented the Euro step.
Right.
You know? Just weird stuff. But what else do we got about the W? I do want to make a note. Angel Reese, 13 points, 13 boards, 5 steals.
And a loss.
There is a loss. There is a loss. She lost.
And she actually shot well from the field, which is shocking too, because coming into the game, she was shooting, I think, 33% from the field as a center, which is crazy because all she does is just throw the ball at the hoop and hopes it goes in.
Or as much as I like Angel Reese, and I think she's
alcohol or something, she's not even trying to score when she's out there.
Yeah, that was her against Brazil in the FIBA Olympics before she got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
It was when she was in college. Who did she face? She faced somebody, and it was just absolutely terrible. It might have been Cardozo shut her down. Somebody shut her down when they faced Brazil. She couldn't score at all. She couldn't do anything. And I'm like, oh, my God. And then the more and more I watch Angel Reese, I realize she really doesn't have a bag.
Not at all.
She's just an amazing rebounder.
Yeah, she doesn't really have good footwork.
Terrible footwork. She has no muscle tone. I looked at a picture of her. She was showing off her Reeboks.
Mm-hmm.
No calf muscle.
And she tries the mid-range jumper once in a while.
Oh my God, that mid-range jumper, the ball spins sideways, and it's just like,
and
I
she's
don't
not.
know. I really can't stand Angel Reese's offensive bag outside of 5 feet. But when she doesn't have the ball in her hands, she's positioning well.
Yeah.
She holds a seal. She has a lot of great things about her. She really does. I actually really like Angel Reese in a lot of ways. Most of them are on the court.
Not off the court. Yeah.
Not off the court. I love a lot what she does on the court, and it comes on defense with her, like I said, her positioning to either hold a seal or to break a seal that an offensive player is trying to hold. She could do that. She always bumps people off their spot, even though she has no muscle tone whatsoever. And then she also is very good at getting calls.
Yeah, she's not afraid to play physical either. She doesn't really care.
She'll take a hit. She'll give a hit. She is very physical. And she's got magnets in her hands. She has like a Rodman element to her. No matter where she is on the court, the rebound finds her.
Yeah, I mean,
when a shot goes up, she's there. Doesn't matter what side of the rim, it will take the weirdest bounce, and it just ends up in her hands. Like I said, she has magnets. I don't know how she does it, but she gets the board every time.
Yeah, she's tied 6th in total rebounds this season, and
6th in rebounds in the W.
And first in offensive rebounds.
And first in offensive rebounds. She's like what was I gonna say? Rodman again. She's like Drummond. She's literally Andre Drummond.
No bag, no touch, no touch.
No bag, no touch. The best offensive rebounder I've ever seen. And just like can do some things great where you're like, okay, now put it all together. And then they never do.
And she's got 48 offensive rebounds. Nafisa Collier is next closest, and she has 30.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
she's leading by a long shot right now.
She's leading by a long shot.
And I think, to me, Chicago has looked a lot better than I expected. I understand it's only whatever they end 9 games they are in the season, 9 or 10 games, but they still have looked a lot better than I think.
That team's built to be good.
And then you also have Camila Cardoso, who's now in the starting lineup, probably could be for the remainder of the season with Elizabeth Williams going out with a torn meniscus. So
she's got touch.
She does have touch.
For a 6'7" ogre, she's got touch. Mm-hmm. You know, she's just huge. I thought she was going to be when I was watching her at South Carolina, you've seen a little bit of touch, but for some reason, like ever since she's came to the W, you really see that.
Yeah, she finishes.
Everything has a nice touch on it.
Yeah, and she's only played 4 games too.
And big red hair. She was in the red jersey. She was big red. And then now she's coming to the league. She's big finesse.
R.I.P.
Right? R.I.P. Bill. R.I.P. Bill Walton.
She is.
But yeah, she really was. She was big red. That's what I was calling her last year. And I'm just like, yo, this chick is just too huge. Like, you can't move her. She's blocking shots. She's getting easy putbacks. But this year, around like WNBA bigs, she's shown she's got soft touch around the rim because she's not the only 6'7" girl out there anymore. You know? And now she's even, but she's still putting up buckets. So I like what she does. I really do. And then also, like I was saying, they are built for success. You have Marina Mabry, who, I mean, she does a little bit of everything. I appreciate what Marina Mabry does as just like a 6-foot shooting guard, small forward. She crashes the glass. She play makes. She shoots threes. You can't ask too much for her. She even plays good defense. You know, she's not lazy. She plays too much with her arms a little bit because she's actually pretty lanky. And she tries to get steals and she gets blocks and stuff. But yeah, she gets a little aggressive on the steal. She tries to play defense too much with her arms. And then you also got what's her name? Evans, who shoots threes, plays defense. She hustles hard. The ball doesn't stick with her at all. She dribbles it up. And the second she's 2 feet over half court, she's already swinging it around, not doing any ISO stuff. She's always just trying to keep the ball moving. I love the way she plays. Diamond DeShields coming off the bench, you know, after everything that she's been through. She's labeled a bust coming out of college. She has some heart problems, you know, goes through different injuries. She hasn't had the easiest path. I wouldn't label her a bust. She had open heart surgery. Like Jeff Green, nobody gives Jeff Green a hard time because he had problems.
But Jeff Green is good.
Jeff Green's. I mean, Diamond DeShields. Don't sleep on Diamond DeShields now.
Inefficient as hell.
She's inefficient, but she plays defense. She plays really hard. She's great in transition. She's a great cutter. She's got some good things about her. She's not Maya Moore out there. She's not. She's not going to be Sabrina. She's not going to be any of these players. But she has a good role, and I think it fits what they do, especially having Mabry and Evans, who are more like hustle defenders than actual natural defenders.
Mm-hmm.
So you put a natural defender out there like DeShields, who just isn't a top. I'd say she's like a top 20 defender in the league. Like really, if you're doing one-on-one ISOs and you put Diamond DeShields on somebody, good luck. Good luck. She's solid. But yeah, then you got Izzy Harrison, who also is there. She could guard 3 through 5. She's solid. She's coming off the knee injury. She's out there with a brace, looking a little slow, but she's trying really hard. And she actually looks like her basketball IQ took another step, which is awesome.
You have Kennedy Carter, who's probably 6th player of the year right now.
Kennedy Carter, you got as 6th player of the year. She's been playing hard. She's throwing elbows, bumping bitches.
Getting buckets, though. She's getting buckets.
She's getting buckets. She is. She's getting buckets. She's doing her thing. And then Elizabeth Williams just tore her meniscus, so she's going to be out for a while. So that means more load on Angel Reese, Cardozo, and Izzy Harrison, which I think they can handle it.
Those are 3 really good bigs. I like that.
And the craziest thing about all of that is we haven't even mentioned Brianna Turner yet.
She's a good rebounder, I'll say that.
She's a good rebounder. And when she gets minutes, she is always voted for Defensive Player of the Year or like first and second team all defense.
You want to talk about no touch.
My God, the worst touch I've ever seen.
Than Brianna Turner. Man.
Oh, my God.
Reese looked good.
Oh, my God. I don't even. I've seen more touch on a sumo wrestler. Like, she has no finesse at all. Poor Brianna Turner. But she locks up. She's strong.
She does, and she's a really good rebounder, too.
And can we shout out Alyssa Peely?
Yeah.
Talk about somebody who is as strong as a sumo wrestler, but has more touch than Brianna Turner.
She does. You see that shot she made from half court?
Bro, she literally threw it like it was a water balloon.
Right. It was a mini basketball she threw. That was a WNBA ball. She just said, all right.
She literally took a WNBA basketball and threw it like it was a tennis ball.
Yep.
And just said, boop. And it slams against the backboard and goes in. It wasn't even like she put arc. She threw a bullet directly at the box. It hit the box and went in.
She just got it and threw it. That was it. You just got it and threw it. And you just
what's even funnier is I don't think that was her first make doing that.
No, it couldn't have been.
It seemed like they asked her to do it again. And she was like, all right.
Fine.
Yeah, they were really prepared for it. And it seemed like they already came off of like, she made one. Let's see her do it again.
Right.
That's the way the energy was in the room. And it feels like even when she made it, she wasn't even like, she was like, I did it again, guys. Here we go.
Nothing new.
I love Alyssa Peely. My rookie of the year. It's Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark at the moment. Angel Reese has to get the field goal percentage up.
She does.
That's like mandatory. If she wants to be in the conversation for real, she's got to get that up.
Yeah, with all those offensive rebounds, you should be getting more buckets.
Yeah.
And it should be a lot higher.
She's catching her own misses. That's probably also why she's leading the league in offensive rebounds.
It helps, yeah, when you shoot. It makes sense when you're shooting 33% from the field. You're leading in offensive rebounds.
The old Ricky Davis offensive rebound.
And she's obviously taken, most of her shots right in the paint. So they're right there so she can get them.
When she takes shots from like that right elbow, right at the free throw line, I just know it's going to be bad.
It's bad. It's like an Aaliyah Edwards mid-range jumper. It's not going in.
I have more faith in Aaliyah Edwards mid-range than I do Angel Reese. I'll tell you that much.
Fire it off the back of the rim every time. It's nothing. It hasn't changed. It didn't change with UConn from
last year. I feel like the year before she left, her midi was nice.
No, junior year it was great.
Junior year, right? Aaliyah Edwards' midi was nice.
Yeah, junior year she finally got the touch because freshman year looked like she had a lot of potential. Sophomore year was somehow, I don't know, she took the biggest just took a huge step back. And then junior year and senior year were really good, but junior year she had the touch with the mid range. That was unguardable.
Right. And that's what I thought she was gonna do her senior year, and then I thought she had a bad year. So then I thought, you know what? Maybe she'll have a great year in the W. But
well, senior year wasn't really a bad year. It was just a bad year for her mid range jumper, and she still shot way above 50% from the field, even though
I'm talking about the midi.
Yeah, she could shoot like 65% from the field if she could make her layups and make her wide open mid range jumpers.
But she have a lot of room, like she should get a lot of minutes this year. She should just get better.
And she played really well in that the Fever loss.
Yeah, she did.
She had 23 and 14. I think she made her first 7 or 8 shots. And
that's what I'm saying.
She's gonna get a lot of minutes, obviously, we don't know if Elena Deladon will return to the WNBA at some point. And then Shakira Austin's been out a lot with the hip injury too. So she's seen even more minutes. So it's her and Stephanie Dolson as your starting bigs.
Right. And if you just have her and Dolson, I don't know why Egbo doesn't get picked up by the Mystics again or something.
I'm surprised the Sun barely played her too.
I know she's decent. I kind of get why, because I think she's someone who has expectations for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And giving her 3-5 minutes a night is not what she wants. She's not going to be happy with that. If you give Astu 3 to 5 minutes, she's going to go out there and play her hardest. You know what I'm saying?
And Alyssa Thomas, the other thing is Alyssa Thomas doesn't really want to rest, or she doesn't really get a lot of rest anyway. She's out there just about the whole game sometimes.
Well, I mean, for Brianna Jones.
Oh, for Brianna Jones too.
Yeah, for Brianna Jones, subbing at the 5 to come in. You got Brianna Jones, and then you have Olivia Nelson-Udota, and then she's better than Queen.
She stinks.
She could switch. She's got fast feet.
Oh, she's got fast feet.
She
makes me sick.
All right, enough about Olivia Nelson's feet.
She ruined Paige's shot at a championship, and I'll never forgive her.
Sure.
Don't bring her name up in this household again.
Still holding UConn grudges with Olivia Nelson-Udota.
Same with Edwards too.
Yeah.
Edwards kills me.
Yeah, Edwards. Damn Edwards. That moving screen.
The moving screen.
The moving screen from hell.
That that everybody complained about. Oh, they can't make the call at that point. Well, it's a moving screen. A moving screen is a moving screen at any point in the game.
Right.
Don't do the moving screen. We might be in the championship game.
Yeah. Damn, Aaliyah Edwards.
It got me upset right now.
For real. But MVP, we'll talk about that real quick. How you feeling? I think it's Asia by a mile. She's doing things that are just ridiculous.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I was just thinking about the Liberty and the Sun record. They have the 2 best records in the W, and I think Las Vegas is 5th right now. They're 5-3. They lost their last game, but I think it's not even really close. The numbers we've never seen the numbers she's put up. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's a small sample size. They've only played whatever they played 8 games, and she's doing this without Chelsea Gray. I would think she'd be putting these numbers up with Chelsea Gray, with how she sets her up and everything in the paint. But she's putting up unbelievable numbers, still incredibly efficient, still great on both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. And I think she could be even better with Chelsea Gray coming back too.
Yeah, she's missing Chelsea Gray. Jackie Young is out right now, and also they lost Candace Parker. There's a lot of turnover in their roster right now. Not necessarily that they're losing players to other teams. I mean, Candace Parker retires. Chelsea Gray hasn't played at all yet. And then Jackie Young's out for the past game. And then will be out, I believe, for the next few at least.
Yeah, they said.
She what?
She has an illness.
Yeah, she has an illness. So we don't know how sick she is or anything like that. So, the aces are just down. You're playing Martin more than you probably should. Let's be real. Kia Stokes is out there hustling.
I like the Tiffany Hayes signing, though.
I love the Tip Hayes signing. I love Tiffany Hayes. I was so happy when when the Sun got Tiffany Hayes last year. Yep. Absolutely thrilled, because I loved her whole career on the Dream. And, I feel like her career wasted away over there in the Dream. But she came over, played great last year, didn't play the best defense, but that was kind of expected, to be honest. But now she's coming over there. She's got a low kind of responsibility load. She comes off the bench. She does her thing. Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I still
Who else can they sign to help fill out this roster? Because they do have some glaring weaknesses. Sydney Colson's going to have to come in and play like out of her mind again, like she did last year against Sabrina.
Right. She did. She had her thrown up in a trash can.
She had her thrown up in the trash can like she was Matthew Dellavedova. Like Sydney Colson was Steph Curry.
But I do like the lineup, though. I mean, I do like the roster if Chelsea Gray is back.
Yeah.
They have a very good team. I get they lost Candace Parker, but they didn't have Candace Parker for a lot of the season last year.
Right. But I feel like they were playing under the implication.
The implication.
The implication is more powerful than anything.
Yep.
So that's what I mean. Like the implication of Candace Parker. And this is what I told you. The Aces changed their colors from black and gold to black and silver.
So they'll lose in the finals now.
This is what it is.
Get the silver medal.
You have to be ready for now. They're just this like team. They're not excellence anymore. But you just have to accept it, and you have to know the truth. But they're trying to dress it up as silver to make you think they're not that good anymore.
Nah, I don't know if I agree with that yet. I'm not on that boat yet, Chief. 8 games.
It could be bait.
8 games in without Chelsea Gray. I don't know. I'm not with you, Chief, yet.
But that's what I'm saying. It's bait.
Okay.
It's to get everyone thinking about silver.
That's great.
But I'm not too sure. The Sun, finally got a defeat on their record.
Yep.
By the Liberty. I feel like I've seen that one coming. The Liberty were having some offensive struggles. They seem to put it together in the past few games. And then, you face the Sun, who can't really score that well. Ty Harris is on and off with points. She's always effective, but scoring is a little on and off with her sometimes.
He's a
Ryan
good.
Jefferson's out. What's her name? Tiffany Mitchell came off and played great last game.
That was the first time she reached double figures in scoring this season.
Yeah, I think she had like 14. Who else played decent? Bonner always,
Bonner was the leading scorer, but I think she was 4 of 14 from the field.
Yeah, but I mean, she's always dominant. She's always looking good. She's also spacing the floor. Like, that's the one thing that doesn't show up on the stat sheet is, like, she's the only one who could actually shoot.
Mm-hmm.
When you got Alyssa Thomas out there, she can't shoot. You got Brianna Jones out there, she can't shoot. Olivia, don't even make me say that.
Right.
Like, even Astu will go out there and get a couple minutes, but she's not a shooter. So she's the only big who could shoot on the team out of, like, 7 players. So a lot of the responsibility does go on her and where she stands on the court. And sometimes she just gets iced out. And then sometimes she catches it and she has to shoot it to keep the defense honest. So, I don't really begrudge anything Bonner does at this point. You're literally asking a 40-year-old woman to carry the best team in the WNBA.
But I thought last year.
And she's doing it.
But I thought last year was one of her best years.
Yeah, last year was one of her best years. She had a uptick in points, probably her best scoring numbers in 5 seasons.
Yeah, she was really good last year. And this year she's been really good. She's averaging, I think, 17 or 18 a game.
Yeah.
Well from the field. Still not a great 3-point shooter, but
she's getting them from the free throw line.
Yeah, she's still shooting well.
To the line at a high clip. She wasn't hitting threes in the beginning of the year. I think first 3 games of the season, she didn't hit a 3.
Yeah, she's shooting like 28% or something like from 3.
She takes like 6 or 7 a game, and I mean, she is a great shooter. She just went through a little slump in the beginning, so her numbers look a little ugly.
No, she needs to stop shooting threes.
She needs to keep shooting threes. What are you talking about?
She needs to take it to the
rack. Who do you want shooting threes besides Banham? And Banham barely even gets minutes and doesn't play defense.
I don't want Bonner taking threes, taking that many threes.
Or Banham. There's no one else.
You got Tyisha Harris.
But I'm saying Ty Harris is hot and cold, and she's not a volume 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
she's a playmaker.
I'm definitely not taking. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking Bonner taking these threes. 30.4% of her career.
34% is not bad.
No, 30.4%.
Oh, 30.4.
Yeah.
Hey, don't disrespect Johanna Bonner.
I mean, to be fair, last year she shot 32.9%. This year she shot 28.8% so far.
So that's like her average, 33, 26 in the middle of 30.
Yeah, so it is a little bit down from last season.
Yeah, but
And
I think she'll be all right. I think she'll get the shooting numbers up a little bit. She has a lot of pressure on her to shoot. Mariah Jefferson came in there in the beginning of the year. She was hitting threes. She wasn't playing a lot, but like you could at least rely on her to come and shoot threes and know that, hey, we have a spacer. Now she hurt her ankle, and there's Veronica Burton is now filling in for her shoes. She's a much better defender than Mariah Jefferson, but the spacing still isn't there. Veronica Burton can't score.
Right. But you only have really Bonner and Jones that you can rely on, I think, every single night to score. Nobody else you can really trust.
I wouldn't even say Jones. You mean Thomas?
No, Brianna Jones.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Jones is even someone I'd rely on the score. I would say Thomas I would rely on more. At least she gets to the line too, so there's guaranteed points. But Brianna Jones.
No, I would trust Brianna Jones to score.
Thomas, 10 points?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 points, but not be a scorer.
She's averaging 13. She's averaging 13 on
decent. It's decent.
She's averaging 13 on 60% from the field. And she was averaging 15.9 before she got hurt last year in 13 games.
She's very efficient. She's very consistent.
Alyssa Thomas is not really consistent scoring wise. She's going to do everything else. She's going to rebound. She's going to look for a teammate. She's going to obviously defend. But as far as scoring points every night, I don't know if I'm trusting Alyssa Thomas to do that. I can trust her to do everything else. I don't know about scoring, though. And Dejanay Carrington, you never know what night you're going to get from her offensively. She's another one of those players. She's great defensively every night, but offensively, you don't really know what you're going to get.
She'll get you 1-3 here and there. You know? Yeah, so that's what Dejanay Carrington is. Even though she's 3-Janae. Once she hits threes, we start calling her 3-Janae Carrington instead of Dejanay.
She's 3-Janae.
She's just got to hit the three first.
She's 3-Janae on 10% shooting from three.
Is she really 10%?
She is 10% from the three-point line this season. Career average, 28.5%. And she's, let's see how many threes. She's taken 23s this season, has made 2 of them.
3-Janae.
3-Janae, man.
2-Janae.
2-Janae.
2-Janae Carrington.
2-Janae Carrington.
Oh, my gosh.
But she is averaging more points than she's ever averaged, but not really efficient. Never had an efficient score from the field or from the three-point line. Well, actually, three-point line, she shot well from the three-point line last year. Before that, she wasn't really efficient. But she's averaging 11.9 points so far this season on 40% shooting from the field.
Man, oh, man.
So, yeah, they don't really – I don't know. They don't really – they don't have anybody consistently can score. To me, aside from Brianna Jones and DeWanna Bonner.
Right.
That you can go out and rely on every night.
I would definitely still lump Alyssa Thomas in there. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. I do get it. Brianna Jones is just more consistent. And Thomas, she might give you a 12-rebound night. She might give you 14 assists one night. So,
yeah, I mean, Thomas doesn't even necessarily need the score with how she impacts the game everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then I think that's it for the W. I mean, we just think it's Asia, right? Because Stewie's having a down year. Jonquel's actually playing a lot better this year.
Yep.
And Stewie's taking a back seat, which is kind of weird, but I mean it's working for them.
It's a bit of a player Jonquel is when she's not in foul trouble. When she's frustrated and in foul trouble, she's still one of the top players in the W, but she just gets in foul trouble far too often.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't put Alyssa Thomas in the MVP conversation. I mean, it should be second, honestly. But, I mean, I just feel like Asia has separated herself from the pack, and it's her.
She is.
Right. Like, people even – you could argue Nafisa Collier, but –
I would put Nafisa Collier in the top 5, too.
She would be in the top 5 consideration. She'd probably be third for me. I'd probably say Asia, Alyssa Thomas, and then Fee.
Yep.
And then after that – probably Enrique, because she's really doing a lot. I know she's not efficient, but she's doing a lot. You got Satu out, and you also have Natasha Howard. Those are 2 of the best wings in the league.
And and 2 big scorers, too.
Big-time scorers, big-time rebounders, even facilitators. Natasha Howard can pass, so can Satu. Like, everything is different within that offense right now, and you got Sweaty Hand Segrist and Monique Billings coming in there and picking up the load. And Enrique's doing it. The volume's crazy. We already know that. The inefficiency in the shooting is what it is. But she's still putting the team on her back and producing.
Right.
So I'll give her that. I think Enrique is in 4th. And then I would say Nneka is 5th.
Nneka's been great.
She's been great. Nothing that really puts her out like above and beyond. And also she's doing it with an incredible team. She's got Ezzie McBeggar right next to her. She's got
Ezzie's been
Skylar
great.
Diggins and Joelle Lloyd. Like I can't say you're the MVP just yet.
Right. They don't even have the best record right now either.
Right. So. They don't even have a top record. It needs.
But they are. They've won
time.
They've won 5 or 6 straight.
Yeah. No, they're playing great. That's what I'm saying. Like Nneka deserves to be in the top 5 considerations, and she's 5th in my voting right now.
Yeah. Because now they're really starting to get it going as of late.
And now Griner's back.
Brittany Griner's back to win her MVP award.
Yep. So you picked Brianna Griner to win MVP.
We'll see.
So she played minimal minutes last game, and now she'll be back full time, I believe. Soon.
They're undefeated. They're undefeated when she plays.
What did I say? Mercury win the championship if everyone's healthy.
You can't deny it. They're 1-0.
1-0.
It had nothing to do with Kalia Copper scoring 34 and the team's last 10 and hitting that 3-pointer too. It had nothing to do with that. It was
nothing to do. But I mean, Griner got Copper.
She handed her the ball off. Game-winning assist.
Game-winning assist. MVP Griner.
MVP Griner. Let's get it. Already missed. What did she miss? 9-10 games already. Beautiful.
Don't matter. She's undefeated. Never lost.
She won't play over 30 minutes for the next 4 or 5 games, too. They're going to work her back slowly.
Do you think so?
I would think so. She only played 20-something minutes last game. But I don't know if it's more the toe or more just conditioning.
Yeah, who knows? Who really knows what it is? It could be that. Or, she could just turn into Toby Bryant and just spaz.
Screen went black for a second.
Oh. But yeah, who knows? Who knows with Griner? One last thing on the W. Well, let me pull this up real quick. Do a little fast break, and then we'll finish off with the NBA.
Hold on, give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right. So right now we got fast break set up, and this is my lineup for the night. 5 players combined for 30 field goals made and 10 free throws made. So field goals, I feel good about Enrique. I feel good about Joelle Lloyd. And I actually do feel really good about Kelsey Plum here, mainly because you don't have Jackie Young. You don't have Chelsea Gray. What you're going to have is probably like Sydney Colson and Martin playing a lot of like the 3. I think Plum is going to get an uptick in offense, uptick in shot attempts, which hopefully follow shot makes. Also, free throws, I think, should be all right. There's a lot of calls that go Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young's way, along with Plum. Excuse me. And then you got Nneka, like I said, she's going hard this season. She's making shots, doing her thing. Lloyd's been inefficient, but she's dealing with, like, a lot of people coming onto her team. Skylar Diggins and Nneka joining the team, it switches the offense up a little bit. And I don't know if she's acclimated to it yet, but she will. And then you got Enrique, who's, has a team taken from her. Instead of Lloyd gets 2 new All-NBA, All-WNBA teammates, Skylar Diggins and Nneka. And then with Enrique, she gets 2 All-NBA people taken from her with Satu and Tasha Howard. So they're going through their own little identity crises on their team at the moment. But I think she's going to have the increased shot attempts and, of course, get into the line. And Lloyd is always good for at least 15 points. So 15 points, even if it's 4 or 5 makes, because she's going to get to the line as well. And she's going to shoot threes. So that's 5 makes from her. 5 makes, I mean, she should have way more than 5 field goals, Enrique. Plum should have way more than 5. Nneka should have more than 5. And Copper just had 34 the other night. So I think this is a very safe lineup. I think this is almost like a guaranteed win in my eyes. So I just got my fingers crossed on this, and I'm just going to say this is a guaranteed win.
It would seem like it.
Right? It would seem like it. And then throughout the rest, this one's going to be tough. 5 players, you want 60 points and 10 assists. But it's also assists minus turnovers. So it's like a plus or minus type thing.
60 points?
60 points and 10 assists. So I already used Bonner, and I don't have Clark. So the 60 points are going to have to come from Nalissa Smith, who should be all right here. I worry about her turnovers sometimes, but with Fagbengenle out, there's no better person to play than Smith.
Right.
Like if she's out, they have to play Smith.
And she's back in the starting lineup.
Right, and she's back in the starting lineup, and there isn't necessarily like even a backup for her now, because that was the whole point, was they were rotating those 3 bigs. Yeah. Like now there's no rotation of those bigs, and now Boston and Nalissa Smith have to play more minutes. I pray that doesn't lead to more turnovers because they're tired. But with this, Alyssa Thomas always has a lot of assists to turnovers. So hopefully, maybe she has a night where it's like 9 assists, 1 turnover, and she covers most of it herself. That's kind of what I'm banking on here. Aaliyah Boston's a good passer. So is Brianna Jones. Good passers for bigs, and they also don't turn the rock over. They don't do anything foolish with it. Typically, they don't handle the rock when there's 3 to 4 seconds left on a shot clock. They don't have to put up stupid shots. They're in positions that they could succeed. And I feel like Brianna Jones in Boston will be fine. Wheeler, she's real hot and cold. I have the option of putting in Kelsey Mitchell, but I'm not too sure if I'd rather Kelsey Mitchell or Erica Wheeler. Mitchell covers me on points. I feel safer when I have her on points, but I don't feel safer with the turnovers.
Right.
So that's the one thing I worry about. But is this enough points? 13 points from, let's say 13 points from Brianna Jones, 12 points from Boston, so that's 25. Nalissa Smith could give me 15 to 20 with the starting spot and also no backup. But she also could give me like 12.
Right.
Wheeler is going to give me like 5 points.
She averages 3.5 right now.
Yeah, it's like I'm not expecting anything from her, but like maybe 2 assists and no turnovers.
Right.
And then you got Alyssa Thomas. So my thing is do you think I should swap for Kelsey Mitchell?
I just think you're really lacking points-wise with Erica Wheeler.
Right. She makes my lineup way too weak. Okay.
Yeah, I would probably go with Kelsey Mitchell.
All right. I could do a little Tiffany Mitchell if we're talking Mitchell.
But Tiffany Mitchell just had her first game. I mean, her first really good game, last game. And
all right, so we'll throw in Kelsey Mitchell here. This would have been a really good play for Caitlin Clark, but
right.
Also, she has a lot of turnovers, so Caitlin Clark might be a negative in this instance.
She had what did she have? 8 turnovers last game, I think.
And she never has 8 assists. So there's that.
That ratio isn't great.
Yo, check out this loss I had the other day. 100 points, and I got 99 out of 100.
That's disgusting. I blame Marike.
Don't blame Marike. She had 22. Blame Neko with 12.
Nah, I blame Marike.
Even Kelsey Mitchell had 16. Like, I still can't believe I lost this night.
All those shots Marike puts up.
I should have just played Copper,
30.
and I would have won, but it is what it is. It's life. I won last night's. This one I crushed. 25 rebounds, 5 threes.
25 rebounds, 5 threes.
And this one I got 29 rebounds and 11 threes.
Yeah, you could almost get that with just Stewie and Jonquel Jones.
I know. They hit 5 threes themselves.
Damn.
And 15 boards. And then the rest was just, Ionescu 2 threes, Bonner 2 threes, Gray 2 threes. It was great. I had a great night there. Should win this one. I forgot to set my lineup the first day because they basically, I checked it at noon and it wasn't ready and the game started at 4 and I had something to do. So I left the house and missed my lineup. That sucked.
That's right. Everything starts earlier there in LA.
Yeah, and everything starts early in LA. I'm always off kilter there. And then I got this one set up, 80 points, 3 blocks.
I hope Shakira plays.
I know,
I
because
think
if not, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. You're right. I should probably swap her out just in advance.
Well, she already got ruled out for today's game. She's missed the last 2 or 3. So I don't know if because I think they were playing her every other game. But I don't know if she re-aggravated that hip again.
Okay. So maybe I'll do Tina Charles here.
She's had a good season.
She doesn't really block shots, but
she's too stiff now.
Yeah. I don't know who I could put in for the blocks, but I don't think there's really anybody to put in for the block. Maybe Stokes.
Stokes, you could.
But like Ezzy averages 3 a game, Asia averages 3 a game. I should be covered, right?
You would think so on paper.
On paper.
Ryan Howard is a good shot blocker too.
That's who I got in.
Yeah, she's got some.
Maybe Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Yeah, she's averaging a block per game. Ryan Howard.
Right, more blocks, more points than Tina Charles. So, all right, we'll go with it. That's our switch up.
Okay. We'll see how many Scott. Let me see how many blocks Skylar Diggins is averaging.
It says 1.1.
She's averaging 1 point. Wow.
And then the last day is this day. So Elizabeth Williams got hurt. I think I'm gonna go buy an Angel Reese.
And what do you have to do in this one?
So this one is 20 rebounds, 5 threes.
20 rebounds, 5 threes. Get Reese for the threes.
Well, I'm not getting Reese for the threes. The only person for the threes I got is basically I got Evans, Mabry, and then I'm praying for Carrington to go out there and do something.
On her 10% shooting. Yes, sir.
Like, I don't have Bonner. I used her earlier.
So you're going to buy a Reese then?
I was thinking about it. Oof, 32. She only got 1 card right now as a rookie.
Chips.
Did I show you Clark?
Do you have a Clark at all?
No, I don't have a Clark yet, but Clarks are going for 209. But if I had to equate this, right, I would think Angel Reese is not 10% of Caitlin Clark.
I agree.
You know, and that's pretty much what this is. Like 30 to 200, like that's like 10%. Like 10% of 200 is 20. So, or 20 is, you would say 210. So 21 would be 10%. That's essentially like 15% of Caitlin Clark value is in Angel Reese. And I think Angel Reese is highly undervalued right now. Like Caitlin Clark, God forbid, I actually don't even want to say this out loud, but like let's say that Caitlin Clark can't play as much games as she can this year.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese would be the rookie of the year, presumably, and how quick that value would change in winning the award and like, you know, who she is as a player. And also statistically, like Reese is really good in fast break. If it's ever a rebound night, I want Reese.
Exactly.
So like Caitlin works with threes and points. So they're both good in their own way in fast break. But yeah, I don't know. Angel Reese just seems highly undervalued to me. All right. Is JB the best player on the Celtics?
Jason Kidd trying to play mind games.
He is, but I feel like this is something he's feeding in the me here. And I've always said Jaylen Brown is a better a better Robin than Tatum is Batman.
Yeah, I totally
He's a better Pippen than Tatum is Jordan. Like, JB is there. He's Pippen.
I mean, if
Tatum's not Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're talking about MVP of Game 1, I would give it to Jaylen Brown too.
Right, JB got MVP of Game 1, had 3 blocks, 3 steals, was everywhere, even at like a back-to-back block. Like he was just vicious on defense.
Stole the ball from Luka.
Right, stole the ball from Luka. He's playing great. They are like collapsing on Tatum and forcing the ball out of his hands, though.
And I will say, I thought Tatum was really looking for his teammates, especially in that first quarter. He was passing a lot.
Yeah.
He was almost making it a point to pass. It didn't even necessarily seem like he was trying to score, but also he was throwing the ball away a lot. He had a game high 6 turnovers.
Right.
And
They're
granted,
just collapsing on him. He's doubled at everything.
Yep.
Everywhere he goes, he's doubled.
But fortunately, everybody else really picked up for his offensive slack. I mean, Jaylen Brown obviously had a really good night. Horford scored 10 points. He had a couple of threes. Drew Holiday hit a couple of threes. Derek White had a really good first half. Obviously, Porzingis was great off the bench. Hauser a couple of threes. So everyone else kind of picked up his slack, and they still won by 18 points. So it didn't affect them too much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is why people don't have Tatum with, some of those other top guys, because how he played last night.
Yeah, he's not a top 5 player in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, we see it far too often with him, these postseason performances where he just doesn't show up.
Right.
I would expect a huge bounce back night for him, hopefully.
Hopefully. We hope. Let's see what Tatum does. Also, Kyrie seemed to be in a little bit of a slump. He shot like 3 for 19.
6 for 19 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3, and didn't attempt a free throw. Yeah. And I thought he had some good looks from beyond. I thought he had a couple wide open looks from beyond the 3-point line. He couldn't hit. He hit some tough shots. The third quarter, it seemed like him and Luka started to get going. I think they scored 16 out of the team's 24 third quarter points, and they went on that little burst. But other than that, he really wasn't able to get much going. I don't know if it was the Boston crowd that got to him. I don't know if that played a part into it, but he's 0-11 in his last 11 games versus the Celtics between his time with the Nets and the Mavericks. So he's really been struggling.
I think he's going to get it this time, though.
They need to. They need to, because no one else really.
It's going to go 1-1.
Yeah, because no one else was really stepping up for the Mavericks. PJ if you look at his numbers, you're like, okay, he had a decent game, but he really didn't have much of an impact. I thought Al Horford and Porzingis did a great job making Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford non-factors in the game.
Yeah.
Derek Jones Jr. shot horribly. You're probably not expecting a lot from Derek Jones Jr., but yeah, he was terrible. They even brought in Tim Hardaway Jr. The Mavericks were searching for anything. I mean, they put Tim Hardaway Jr. in the ball game when it was still, where they could still have a chance to come back, and he didn't really do much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the Celtics looked great. Aside from that third quarter, I thought they did a good job. But what I liked from them is that, they were up by 21 at the start of the second half. The Mavericks got the lead down to as close as 8 in that third quarter. But then at the start of the fourth quarter, they were back up by 20. I feel like older Celtics teams would, let the Mavericks stay in it. Basketball is a game of runs, and Mavericks went on that big run, but then Boston went on a big run of their own, and that was pretty much the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to see that. I feel like an old Celtics team, they wouldn't have done that. I think the game would have probably stayed close 2 or 3 years ago. But this is kind of what we've seen from the Celtics this season. They've been blowing a lot of teams out, and they've been able to maintain that lead with a lot.
Think they could sweep? What % chance do you give a sweep?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to go crazy. It was a very good game one. I'm happy about it. I like their chances for the rest of the series. I like that Kristaps Porzingis looks healthy. As far as percentage, I don't know. Very, very low. I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll sweep. I don't think they'll sweep. I don't think they'll win in 5. I still have them in 6.
Okay.
I'm not going to overreact with a game one. It was a great game one. Can't deny that, but I'm not going to say that they're going to go out and sweep the Mavericks, and I can still see them winning tonight. I would expect a big game from Tatum. I would think Kyrie's going to bounce back. Luka's still Luka, even though he was 12 of 26 from the field last game, so he didn't shoot great, but he reason why they were able to make that run. He had 10 points in that third quarter, almost half the team's points in the third quarter to try and bring him back. But that's the thing with me. I think the Celtics, on any given night, you can have those 5 starters, or I guess Porzingis is coming off the bench, but 5 players that can go out there and give you 20 to 25 points. With the Mavericks, you don't really have anybody you can rely on every night scoring wise, aside from Luka and Kyrie. And Luka and Kyrie, they can go for 30 plus or 35 plus on any given night. But who's your next guy that is really going to score? PJ Washington.
PJ. And then maybe even like a Jaden Hardy off the bench. If they're not going to play Tim, now they play Tim Hardaway. But like, if they're going to rely on somebody to score and create for themselves, it might just be Hardy or it might be Tim Hardaway Jr. Either way, you're getting one of them to try.
And
And
Hardy,
then hopefully PJ steps up. Gafford's never going to step up and do too much other than catch lobs himself. But I wonder when they're going to switch the bigs. So Horford started and Porzingis came off the bench, which was like the first time of the year that really happened. And then you also had Lively coming off the bench and Gafford starting. So I wonder if
they're going to start Lively.
Would you start Lively because typically you have more success there, but then you have a matched up with Porzingis.
Right.
So it kind of nullifies what Lively does, but you're in this like constant match thing. If they start Lively, KP is going to go back to the starting lineup. If they just kind of stick to what they're doing now, it's Al Horford versus Gafford, and they're still winning that matchup. So like it's lose-lose for the Mavs either way, I believe.
And I saw that the notification just came across the screen that Porzingis said he's still coming off the bench for game 2.
Oh, wow. Right as we say it, speak of the devil.
Yeah, but I really like that. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
great game.
Leave him off the bench. As long as Lively's not starting and there's nothing different, keep it going.
Yeah, and Lively didn't really play a whole lot last game because he picked up 5 fouls.
Yep.
So he
picked up 15 fouls.
He really could have picked up, with the way he was playing. He was ridiculous.
Yeah, he was all
really frustrating night for him. But yeah, Porzingis, he was talking about Porzingis, he was great. He was not moving from that mid-range spot. No. He didn't move from that mid-range spot, not even to take a dribble, because I think that first mid-range jumper that he hit was over Jaden Hardy, and then he kind of stuck an elbow out, and then Hardy tried to sell it like he got hit in the face. He knocked down the jumper, and we saw it later in the game. Josh Green was on him, kind of gave him a left elbow to the stomach. Josh Green looked at the ref looking for a foul call, didn't get it, knocked down the jumper. He did not want to move from that mid-range spot. He had a couple of threes too.
He was hot.
Blocked 3 shots. He was great.
I guess there hasn't been some teammates on the Celtics to score 20 points and have 3 blocks each since Parrish and maybe
McHale? I don't know.
McHale. I think it was Parrish and McHale had 20 each and had 3 blocks. And that hasn't been a thing since JB and Porzingis, the 2 best players on the Celtics.
Another stat that was surprising too was the Mavs shot. So they made 35 out of their 84 field goal attempts, 41.7%. They only had 9 assists.
Yeah, the ball was not moving the way it should have.
9 assists on 35 field goals is crazy.
But it's great defense.
It is.
This is why everyone said the Celtics are winning. There's no doubt about it, because they have the best team. There is no bum to hunt on defense. Who could Luka match up with? There's no like Damian Lillard or Steph Curry or anybody like that you have to keep out there no matter what, but they can't D up.
And I will say, like, even Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard were defending Luka, and they did okay with him. I mean, I was
surprised about Pritchard.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of possessions, but I was like, okay. I mean, I don't want it to be a thing.
I don't want Pritchard to be on him long term.
Yeah.
That was as much as Luka needs to see of Pritchard ever.
Yeah, but I was happy with how he defended him, though. I really was.
I think the next time he sees Pritchard, it's barbecue chicken.
Yeah, it's going to be barbecue chicken. And also, Pritchard missed all 7 of his shots last game, too, so he didn't do a whole lot for the Celtics.
Yeah. I was doing some draft coverage and just kind of trying to follow the mock drafts and make my own mock draft and everything, watching film, studying the combine measurements. Something really stood out to me, and it actually has to do with Luka. Luka, have you seen his wingspan? Do you know Luka's wingspan?
I would think it's pretty long. Pause.
It's something that you wouldn't really expect, right? So going through, let me see if I could actually pull up the combine measurements real quick. NBA combine. Sorry, I thought I had this. Thought I had the page saved. All right. So when you go to the measurements of the combine, it's probably just going to be a long list of spaghetti that you can't really see. Well, hold on. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. So you got Zach Edey, wingspan, or even Klingon from UConn.
Bum.
Why you got to call him a bum?
Bum.
7'6" wingspan, right?
Wow. Jesus.
The guy, first pick of the draft, Alex Sarr, they say is going to be the number 1 overall pick. 7'4" wingspan. He's a center. Well, Luka Doncic's wingspan is 6. It's over 7'2". It's like 7'2" and a half.
Wow.
So the only people that are 7'2" and a half right here and above are all centers. It's just something that, like, you have to realize Luka truly is a one of one. There is no ball handler that should ever have a 7'2" wingspan.
And should be however tall he is too. What is he, 6?
And should be right 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, that's
And
ridiculous.
can do all the things he could do.
Can handle
Nobody that's 7'2" is coordinated.
Yeah, handle the ball like a guard, shoot like a guard.
Yeah, there's nobody like this. I mean, obviously he's like one of a kind, but like when you really look at the draft, just the measurements alone, it's kind of insane.
It is.
Like you have to scroll down to just get to 7 foot even, and that's like small forward, power forward, switchable guys that are like 3-and-D type people.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one who's an actual creator that has that. And actually, if you let me see this real quick. I don't know how to put this up, but where's Topic? Right here, Nikola Topic. Everyone's been obsessed with him. You know who he is?
I saw that he partially tore his ACL.
Yeah, he partially tore his ACL, so I think he's going to fall in the drafts. I have him falling in my mock draft. Who knows? He'll probably get picked second or something by the Wizards because they're trash. But when you look at Nikola Topic, and he basically is supposed to follow the same path as Luka Doncic. They have like similar ball handlers. He's 6'6", and yada, yada, yada. So you see the 6'6", right? 6'5" and 0.75?
Yep.
So let's look at his wingspan. The guy who is supposed to be Luka Doncic, 6'5" and a half.
Damn.
He's 6'5", and he's 6'5" wingspan. That's not Luka.
T-Rex arms.
Right. That's the thing with Luka, is the fact that his arms are so long and how low he could dribble in certain instances and like just switch ball level and everything that he could do. I think people are sleeping on it. I don't think people realize who Luka is and actually like really sit back and look and be like, this dude is the size of Kawhi Leonard, but plays like James Harden.
Something else.
With an extra 20 pounds of fat on him.
And is a winner.
Right.
He wants to win, unlike James Harden.
But yeah, the dude literally is Kawhi Leonard with James Harden's bag. And it's insane when you actually think about what Luka is. So, yeah, he's the best player. In my opinion, he's the best player in the series. The Mavs have to actually get a couple wins in there. There's no way they don't get a one win, at least one.
I also want to say that with Luka's defense last game, the blow-bys were terrible. All the Celtics were blowing by him. Pause. But, I mean, they were just getting wide open. It was leading to wide open shots, wide open threes. I thought he was really lazy on defense.
Yeah, and he is. And that's what I'm saying. He's Kawhi Leonard, but, I mean, he's James Harden stuck in Kawhi's body.
But I think this game, it really hurt them.
Yeah, for sure.
They've been able to make it to all the way to the finals, but he was really lazy on defense, I thought, in that game one.
Yeah. And that's for a finals game, you should not be that lazy.
And
I'm sorry, but the effort level he plays on one side of the ball, I love Luka. Like I said, I think he's the best player in the series.
Yep.
He's the most physically gifted. He's the most skills gifted, other than Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie is kind of like his own little, like, he's like a superhero or something.
Well, he's on another level, Kyrie.
Yeah, he's like Bruce Lee. You know, he's like the Bruce Lee of the NBA. No one knows what he does. How does he practice this shit? How does he do what he does? But we don't know. He's got his own way, and 50 years from now, they'll still be talking about Kyrie as the greatest skill player ever. But when you actually just apply it to Luka too, I feel like Luka might even have got some Kyrie magic rubbed off on them because Luka hits crazy shit.
He does.
He'll hit a 3-point floater with the left hand the same way Kyrie could hit a floater with the left hand from 3. Like, those are the only 2 guys I would ever bet. If I had to bet my life on it, and they said one player, left-handed floater, they're righties, left-handed floater from 3, life on the line. Who do you want?
Kyrie.
Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm taking Kyrie first.
I'm taking Kyrie first.
Taking Kyrie.
And then next I'm taking Luka. There's no other person with an opposite hand I would rather have. And that's, like, I think the ultimate test of skill to me is how ambidextrous are you at the highest levels.
I mean, I
believe Luka is ambidextrous at the highest levels. We've seen Kobe Bryant was such an insane competitor that he would practice left-handed shots. So if he ever hurt his left hand or his right hand in a game, they couldn't take him out.
Didn't he hurt his right shoulder?
And that's what happened.
Then
he tore his rotator cuff in his right shoulder, and they couldn't take him out because he was still shooting with the left. Yeah. So they didn't know it was hurt. Different. He was such a sicko that he's like, I'll fight through the pain. As long as nobody knows that I'm hurting, like, they just think I'm shooting with the left. They just think I'm going left. No one's going to care. No one's going to bat an eye if I'm still making shots. And that's what happened. He tore his rotator cuff. He starts shooting with the left and making shots. People are like, why is he shooting with the left? Turns out, after the game, boom, tore his shoulder.
And Kyrie just hit that game winner with the left.
Right, and he hit the game winner with the left over Jokic.
In the regular season, yeah.
Yeah, the regular season. So it's like, I don't know. Those 2 guys are so skilled and so talented. And then you have Jaylen Brown, who can't dribble with his left hand, but then he's finding so much success. You know, it's like, it's hard to balance the 2 because I'm like, these guys are ambidextrous and have all the skill in the world. And then it just goes to show you that you need more than just ball skills to play basketball.
Yeah.
To be a winner, you have to have heart. You got to try hard on both ends. And Jaylen Brown scoring 25 points on offense. He's got 3 blocks, 3 steals on defense, 6 stocks. If you want to call it like that, stocks, steals and blocks, 6 stocks. You can't beat that.
Right.
Like, if Luka was matching that energy, maybe it would be a little different story. But Jaylen Brown's hustling every single play, and I think he is the best player, most complete player, and I think the true formula to winning on the Celtics. Jason Tatum could be doing that on any team, you know? But I think the reason why they win is JB. He takes it to the next level. He makes them the team that they are. And then you got Derek White and Drew Holiday, who are the best shot blocking guards in the league.
Right.
You know, both of them. If I had to take either, shot blocking guard, I would pick them both in order. Derek White, Drew Holiday, Derek White, either one. And then, maybe I'd move on to like Dylan Brooks or something. Yeah. But like, there really isn't too many guards that block shots the way he does, or they do. So I don't know. I just think the Celtics are the better team overall, better player, Luka.
And I saw yesterday when the Mavericks were practicing, Luka was holding his abdomen.
He probably got a cramp.
And he was grimacing too. So I don't know if that's a cramp, if he actually hurt his ribs or something last game. So maybe that's something to keep an eye on.
I think that was a little bit of Vegas.
Maybe a little bit of Vegas. He's like, I'm really hurt. Celtics go up as 12.5-point favorites now or something.
He sees the camera come out. He's like, I faked the injury. 12.5.
Yep. So
slam the under.
Take the Mavericks tonight to win. Take the
Mavericks money line, the under for the point totals.
Take the over for Luka's point totals.
Take the over for Luka's assists.
Yep. Over for his rebounds. Smash over everything for Luka.
Smash the over for Luka. And smash the under for Tatum because he ain't showing up.
Oh, word? Okay. All right.
I don't know. It's just like we're seeing so much of this that, Jaylen Brown wins MVP and yada, yada, yada. And we already know Jaylen Brown was the MVP of the first Celtics finals.
He was, because in those fourth quarters when they were really struggling, he went out there and then obviously didn't win a lot of the games, but he went out there and got buckets and at least kept the team alive.
Yeah.
Tatum was nowhere to be found.
Right. So Jaylen Brown was the best player last finals, and he's been the best player this finals. So what does that mean?
And was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
And he won the Larry Bird Trophy.
Blackbird.
Blackbird. Tatum couldn't do.
He's supposed to be the best player.
Tatum lost his name.
Damn. Light-skinned bird.
I can't. If he can't do this, if he can't get it done, he can't be.
He can't be any kind of bird anymore.
He can't be any bird anymore besides a bird.
Besides a bird, he's D. Reynolds' bird.
Yeah, we're gonna just call him Big Bird.
Big Bird.
That's.
Oh.
Yeah. But JB's out here doing his thing. I'm calling him Robin, but he's really Batman. He's really killing it.
Last series and one game, he's been Batman.
He's been Batman, and let him rock. Let him wear the mask.
Yep.
Let him bring the mask back and really be Batman.
Mask JB, Jesus. Then he really can't dribble.
Right.
You know,
I feel like he was shooting threes better when he had the mask on. I could be wrong, but it was like blinders. Like all he could see was the rim.
Yeah, there's got to be some stat to back that up. Somebody has
got to be. I feel like he was killing it.
Somebody has that stat somewhere.
Somebody does. Some sicko. But anything else you got for the Celtics?
Yeah, I got a couple stats. The Celtics are 5-0 when Jason Tatum shoots below 40% from the field this playoffs. So the key to winning is Tatum shooting horribly.
Yep.
The Celtics are 12-0 this season on Sunday.
Okay.
So those are two stats that I had.
Wow, 12-0 on a Sunday. So all right, I got a couple more stats for you. The Celtics have never won 8 straight playoff games.
Okay.
And they're 8-0. Well, the past 8 games they're 8-0.
Oh, all right, nice.
This is a record, and I do feel like records are meant to end at some point.
Right.
Right. So I think their luck has been pretty good.
Could be.
So you're saying 12. They have 12 wins, and then it would be Kyrie's 12th game. This next one.
Yep.
And the 12-0 on Sundays, but with Kyrie, I don't think he'll go 0-12 against the Celtics.
All right. We'll see.
Unless they do it for Brady.
Do it for Brady.
They do it for Brady.
If Brady's in the building tonight, you got to take the Celtics.
Right. If Brady's in the building, they're going for the 0-12 sweep. It makes Kyrie Irving.
Makes too much sense.
It makes way too much sense. And then also the math on the Celtics record right now, they're 77-20. So if they win the next 3, that means they win an 80-20 season, which is pretty damn good, which means they win 80% of the games. It's clean math, 80-20. And that's pretty much how I really felt about the Celtics prior to the season starting, that they should win 4 out of every 5 games.
Shout out second row Joe.
Yeah, second row Joe. He's first row Joe now. I
was watching the Bill Simmons podcast at work, and then Bill Simmons was talking with his dad, and Bill Simmons was like, Can Joe Mazzulla be first row Joe now? He's like, no. I was like, no, not yet.
Not yet. He's got to win.
And Bill was like, what? Come on. They just won by 8 seed. He was like, no.
So not yet. Because the dad was talking about, he said, when they came out of a timeout, the players and the coaches didn't go in the same huddle, and then the Celtics played better after the timeout. So he said, it was the players.
Right.
You heard him say that? I forgot what timeout it was or when it was.
Yeah, I heard that.
But he was like, yeah, he said the time they did really great was when the coaches didn't go meet with them. It was just the players saying what they were going to do after.
Right.
And they did a great job. He goes, I really trust the players. I trust what they're doing. And I agree.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think we have too much. We covered a lot, actually. I don't know why I just said we didn't just cover a lot.
We covered the stock market.
We covered GameStop. We covered UFC, the WNBA
finals,
the NBA finals, and some Always Sunny references.
Yeah, we had a bunch of Sunny references too.
bunch of Sunny references, like, so just to be appreciative of what we're doing out here. We're really working hard for you guys, bringing the content. And also, we did a little WNBA fast break, chit-chatting that up. So hopefully that's good. The W Fantasy League, I'm doing so bad, I might as well quit now.
Probably going to win this week. I'm going to snap my 2-week losing streak, but it hasn't been great.
I just had the worst draft ever. I came late. I got auto-picked a couple times, and it just is what it is. But it's life. And I picked Brianna Jones as my 4th pick when I joined, and I'm like, hey, Brianna Jones. I love Brianna Jones. And I wasn't ready.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm mad at that pick.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't pick McCowan. I don't know why I didn't pick McCowan. I'm still looking at my big board.
Yeah, I got McCowan.
I got McCowan right here.
Oh.
Brianna Jones isn't even on this list. And why did I pick her over? I don't get it. I don't get why I drafted the way I drafted.
But she has.
Then I picked. Oh my God.
Bad this season though. It's not a total loss.
It's so bad, bro. I picked Mariah Jefferson and she got benched. She doesn't even play.
And she's been hurt too.
I picked her 5th.
And I
thought she was gonna start. She's making $250,000. No one in the W is making $250,000. She's not even playing.
And Shakira
yelling at me. He's calling me an idiot.
Oh man. But I have Shakira Austin and Brittany Sykes, and they've been hurt for most of the season, so that's really hurt me too.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Ritchie. Sonny's crying because he took Satu.
Yep.
He's so mad he took Satu. Man doesn't follow the notifications, doesn't know she's out for 2 months.
That's what he gets.
Still got her on IR. You heard him?
You got to pay attention, Sonny.
You got to lock in, Sonny. You're messing up.
You're better than that.
You're right. You're better than that, Sonny. Especially after that whole injury conversation we had about you.
Right.
You got a healthy paw. You're supposed to be back.
Yeah, we know who you are. We know who you are. You're Sonny.
Right. He's the madman. He said, yep. All right. On that note, we're out of here. Us three.
Yep.
Us three. Cam, Rich, and Sonny. We're out of here. At least he got to chime in at the end and let you know Satu will come back someday.
Yep. After the Olympics.
After the Olympics. All righty. Adios, guys.
Adios.